Now, from Wish TV, this is the Zone Kickoff Show, presented by Franciscan Health Sports Medicine. Coming up on the Zone Football Kickoff Show, the 2023 season is here, and teams are ready to hit the gridiron.
I think going into every year, we usually have the target on our back, and everyone's coming to play us with their best game.
Like father, like son, how Zionsville wide receiver Eugene Hilton is making a name for himself.
I feel like I've gotten overshadowed a little bit, so just trying to make a name for myself.
And how Whiteland football is bringing together its community.
Town rallies behind us. We rally behind the town. Everybody, the whole community just comes together as one.
Plus, a new battle for the Zone banner is here.
We want the banner! We want the banner! We want the banner!
We're off and running on the Zone Football Kickoff Show now.
Good evening and welcome to the Zone Football Kickoff Show. I'm Andrew Chernoff. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll get you ready for a brand new season on the high school gridiron. Coming up tonight, you'll see a familiar last name playing wide receiver at Zionsville. Angela Morian introduces us to Eugene Hilton and explains how he's making his own name on the football field. Plus, the one and only Greg Rakestraw of ISC Sports Network is here to give us his take on the 2023 Central Indiana football landscape. And playing with a purpose, we head to Whiteland to learn how last year's Class 5A state runner-ups is supporting the community that supports them. We begin, though, in Greenwood, where all eyes will once again be on Center Grove this season as head coach Eric Moore's Trojans chase a fourth consecutive state title. Last year, Center Grove went 12-2, capping off the season with the 6A championship inside Lucas Oil Stadium. While this year's Trojans feature plenty of new faces, several key players do return, including senior quarterback and Duke commit Tyler Cherry. Expectations are high again this year, and the team says it cannot wait to be put to the test.
It's been a great 3-year run, being a state champion 3 years in a row. But now you just focus on another year, this team, the Trojans of this year. Really don't talk about the years in the past. We don't talk about opponents. We just worry about us, and we have a long way to go to get where we've been. Our mindset hasn't changed. We want to try to be state champions. It's just going to be a lot harder this year.
I think going into every year, we usually have the target on our back, and everyone's coming to play us with their best game. We get everyone's best game. It's everyone's Super Bowl to play us, so it'll be just as important to go out and compete every game and take it week by week. Coach Moore builds toughness into us throughout the summer and winter. Just everything we do is with toughness and with passion, just loving each other and working every day to get better.
Center Grove is not the only team looking to defend a state title here in Central Indiana. In Class 1A, Lutheran begins its quest for a three-peat on Friday night when it opens the season against Beech Grove. Last year, the Saints win a perfect 15-0, defeating Adams Central in the state title game. Head coach Dave Pash's team enters the year on a 30-game winning streak. Meanwhile, in 3A, Bishop Chatard returns as the defending state champ. Last year, the Trojans knocked off Lawrenceburg for the program's 16th state title, the most for any football program in state history. Coach Rob Doyle and his Trojans open 2023 on Friday night at home against Brebeuf. That is just one of the many great games across Central Indiana to begin the season. We, of course, will have you covered on The Zone with all the highlights on Friday night. Let's take a look at some of the big Week 1 matchups that kick off just over 72 hours from now. You've got New Pal at Westfield. Lafayette Jeff takes on Cathedral at Lucas Oil Stadium. Carroll battles Hamilton Southeastern. Lawrence North is at Avon. And then another game at Lucas Oil Stadium, Noblesville and Mount Vernon. Time for our first time out, but we're just getting started here on the Zone Football Kickoff Show. When we return, a familiar name is making waves in Zionsville. We head to the Eagles' Nest and see what former Colts great T.Y. Hilton has to say about his son's star-like performances. And still ahead, what should we expect on the field this year? Greg Rakestraw of the ISC Sports Network joins us to break down the Central Indiana football scene. Welcome back to the Zone Football Kickoff Show. After 10 years with the Colts, T.Y. Hilton is a household name in the state of Indiana. But now his son Eugene is becoming a star of his own for the Zionsville Eagles. Our Angela Morian talked to both Hiltons about Eugene's bright future.
My hope is to have a better career than he did, so got to work hard.
If you go to a Zionsville football game this year, you might recognize one name in the roster, Eugene Hilton. No, not this Eugene Hilton, this Eugene Hilton. Son of the Colts' former star receiver, Hilton is already showing off. He had nearly 600 yards in his sophomore season alone.
Some of the things I feel like that would put me on the map was my catching ability. I had a couple really good catches last year, so I feel like that helped me a lot.
Came home one day and he just was in the weight room working. And, you know, kids nowadays, when they get home, they just want to, you know, rest or do something else when they come from a long day, and he just in there working.
He enjoys, you know, putting in time outside of the things that we do. And when you have that, that's when you have the potential for something that can be really, truly special.
At just 16 years old, Hilton already has offers from 9 different Power 5 programs. Of course, he's got a famous last name, but Eugene is determined to be the new face of the Hilton football family legacy.
I feel like I've gotten overshadowed a little bit, so just trying to make a name for myself. I don't really feel pressure because, like, at the end of the day, like, it's just been with me, like, my whole life. So, like, at this point, it's just like, if it's either you come to the game to see him or me, and then I don't really care.
Like I told him, man, when guys play against him, they go think about me. And so you got to go out there, get from under my shadow, and make a name for yourself. And that's what he's been doing. As
Eugene's athleticism grows, so does his relationship with Dad T.Y.
I feel like we were already close, but I feel like this just makes us a little bit closer. He helps you in, like, the technical things, and he help you, like, understand and, like, your depth and, like, all that.
Hard work beats talent any day. As long as you believe in yourself and you truly put in the work, it's going to show on Friday nights. And that's what it's been doing, so I'm proud of him.
Another Hilton headed towards the NFL. Angela Morian, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and like us on Facebook.
That's awesome, like father, like son. Time for a break, but much more ahead here on the Zone Football Kickoff Show. Up next, look who's here. There he is. The one and only Greg Rakestraw is in studio to break down the upcoming season and let you know what games you can see on My Indy TV. And a new battle for the Zone banner kicks off. We'll let you know how your school can win the banner this year. Welcome back to the Zone Football Kickoff Show as we get ready to start a brand new high school football season. And who better to break it all down than the one and only Greg Rakestraw of ISC Sports Network. Greg, thanks for being here. How exciting is this time of year for you every single year?
Well, first of all, I'm happy for you that you're back home. I know you have now been back on the Wish TV staff, better part of about 5 months or so. But this is the first time you've had to experience high school Friday night close to your hometown of Carmel. So I'm thrilled to be here with you, and I'm happy for you. And yes, I have told people this. Obviously, I was calling an NFL game a couple of days ago. But now I'll get to call high school football for the next 15 Friday nights, and I'm thrilled about that. This is such a unique place in that there's the place for the professional teams, but there is such a passion that runs in so many communities throughout the state of Indiana for high school football on Friday nights, for basketball by the time we get to November and December. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. Can't wait.
I know we've been editing so many different videos for this show,
Right.
and we're like, oh my God, we're ready for these teams just to run out of the tunnel, get ready to go. And one of those teams I want to talk about is the Ben Davis Giants in 6A. New head coach this year. The schedule, man, they're playing Moeller, they're playing IMG Academy. What are the expectations for the Giants this year?
The expectations are high, and again, let's state clearly, Center Grove is the 6A favorite, okay, and rightfully so. You touched on them off the top of the show. Last year was the year that people were supposed to get Center Grove, and they didn't. You know, they were kind of reloading last year. But Ben Davis returns so many pieces, and they return not one, but 2 Division I caliber quarterbacks. This is Thomas Gotkowski. He's going to play at Western Michigan. Probably is the 3rd highest rated quarterback in the state. We're going to mention the other 2 coming up here in a matter of moments. They've got another young man they got to play early in the season kind of in front of Gotkowski. Isaiah's going to have to kind of just bide his time because Thomas is so good. Nyland Brown returns defensively, one of the best returning players in the state. And you referenced a new head coach. It's Russ, man. Jason Simmons could not pass up the chance to work in college football at his alma mater, Miami of Ohio. Russ was the defensive coordinator, knows all these kids, has spent time at Warren Central as well, so he knows the mix, he knows what's important. I don't think Ben Davis is going to miss a beat this year, and because Ben Davis doesn't play Center Grove during the regular season this year, that's the date that IMG replaced. I think Center Grove will come back on BD schedule in future years. They wouldn't see each other until the semi-state, and I think there is a chance that that happens. I'm sure there's other schools that would like to say, hey, we will get in the way. Warren potentially, Cathedral potentially, and let's not sleep on Franklin Central and Center Grove's path as well in their own sectional.
Let's talk 1A now. Lutheran, the two-time defending state champion, they only have a 30-game winning streak. Can anyone or anything stop them this year?
This year, no. I was going to say potentially bumping up to 2A by winning. Now listen, they played Adams Central in the state championship game last year. It would not surprise me to see Jets and Saints again in the 1A, just because Adams Central produces such a good level of football each and every year. But Dave Pash, in short order, has built a monster on the southeast side, and frankly, they'll lose key pieces one year. They'll have guys ready to replace them, and importantly, let me touch on this earlier. They start with Beech Grove. They play in the ICC a largely 2A, 3A schedule that gets them ready come late October to the month of November.
It's never rebuilding with them right now. It's
Correct.
just reloading. Okay, the topic of conversation I'm sure we will touch on throughout the year, Mr. Football. Two names that I know come up are Center Grove's Tyler Cherry and Cathedral's Danny O'Neill, both in the mix, both future Division I QBs. Who are some of the guys to look for that Mr. Football award right
Well,
now?
again, let's talk about the two guys you mentioned just because they're local. But Danny O'Neill, had it not been for a phenomenal year by Nathan McCahill 3 years ago, Danny would have been a 4-year starter at Cathedral. Going to go play for Deion Sanders at the University of Colorado. Again, Tyler Cherry comes back. You talked about he's going to go to Duke, but where he comes into play and gets his most recognition, you're the starting quarterback on a team that is looking for a four-peat. Something that has happened one time in the top level of Indiana high school football. Got to go back to Kevin Wright, Steve Tutsie, and Warren Central, their glory days from 2003, 2006. There are probably higher rated prospects than both of those two guys. A couple of young men at Northwood, one of those being former Warren Central Warrior. Josiah Edmond comes to mind. Also the fact that you've got a couple of great players, Ringer and Brotherton at East Central have been to a 4A championship, both Division I players. And again, East Central has a good chance of playing a 4A state title as well. But the quarterback position, name recognition, and defending championship pedigree of those schools over the years, again, I think those two quarterbacks have to be the favorites.
And then, Greg, about 20 seconds left. You're going to be doing a lot of games, I know for sure. You've already referenced that. Once again this year, week 1, you're going to be covering the Warren Central game. Here's a take a look at the game that you're going to be calling. Just what are you expecting in this game between Snyder and Warren Central at 7 on MyNDTV?
Well, knowing we're up against it time-wise, what is unique about this matchup is this is the first of the 7 athletic conference schools have had non-conference games. So when you profile the big matchups on Friday night, it's a lot of Fort Wayne versus Indy area schools. I'm thrilled to be at one of them. Kurt Tippman's Snyder team against Mike Kirshner and Warren Central. Can't wait for it coming up Friday night at 7 o'clock on MyNDTV 23.
Love it. Greg Rakestraw, always appreciate the time, my friend, and can't wait to see you out on the field.
Welcome home, buddy.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it as always. Week 1 on WNDY again, Snyder against Warren Central. Time for another quick break, but more to come on the Zone Football Kickoff Special, uniting the community, why the Whiteland Warriors will be playing for much more than themselves this season. Welcome back to the Zone Football Kickoff Show. The Whiteland Warriors have set the bar high for the upcoming season after finding unprecedented success in 2022. But they don't only have a state championship on their minds this fall, they will also be thinking about their town when they put on the pads. Last November, Whiteland football experienced something few teams get to, playing for a state championship. What made it even more meaningful, it was the Warriors' first appearance in a state title game. They fell to Valpo in a thriller.
Everybody just gets behind one another, and then everybody plays for one another. It's not a selfish team. You can't be selfish with Whiteland.
But since that night in Lucas Oil Stadium, the Whiteland community has experienced events no town hopes to go through. Multiple tornadoes have hit the area in 2023, affecting many families.
When that all happened, almost like the entire football team was there to help the communities around us and help them clean up their houses and whatever was destroyed.
The thing that's most impressive to me is the way we rally, the way this whole town rallies when help is needed, when it's necessary. Everybody in this town rallies, and I'm so proud to live here and work here.
The tornadoes, though, were not the only cloud that hit Whiteland this year. When Indiana State Trooper Aaron Smith was killed in June, it had a major impact on the town, since Smith was a graduate of Whiteland High School and a former Warrior football player.
You want all the young men that graduate from your program to be those kind of people. We've got a lot of guys that have gone on from here and done wonderful things, great family men, great employees, great bosses, great service to their country and their community.
It's a message head coach Darren Fisher keeps sending to his players. Make an impact, like Trooper Smith did. Well, now those players can, by bringing smiles to the community on Friday nights, helping a town heal after a hard few months.
Our guys, we always say, play for your town, play for your school, play for your teammates. And, that's always been important in the 19 years I've been here. And obviously, it's really important right now.
We love our town here. We think highly of them, and we always want to prove how good we are to our town.
A very close-knit community in Whiteland. Now, one of our favorite parts of football season is watching the competition for the coveted Zone banner for the best student section in Central Indiana. Here's what it will take for your school to win this season.
The battle is on for the best student section in Central Indiana.
Zone Banner Championship is Franklin Community High School. Congratulations to the Grizzly Cubs.
Which school is going to win the undisputed Top Spirit Award, the Zone Championship banner? Franklin Community is the first two-time winner and the defending champs.
One school at the end of the day can look right up there because you're the Zone Banner champ.
We want the banner!
If you want in the game, you better come ready. It's the Spirit Award everybody in Central Indiana wants.
We're saving his head for the banner.
So if you want the Spirit banner, please stand up. What? Please stand up. Please stand up. We want the banner. We want the banner. We want the banner.
Entire schools and communities coming together to win the coveted banner.
We want
and the celebrities that have jumped in.
Blue Crew gets the victory. Give them the banner. Let's bring the banner back to Grand Capital.
I know that they have the best student spirit in the state. Go Dogs.
How can your school take home the Zone banner? Here are 3 ways your school can win and have the Zone banner hanging in your gym. Number 1, great school spirit. Number 2, show us how much you love the Zone. And number 3, lead the way on social media across the state, promoting your school and the Zone.
We want the banner! We want the banner!
So who's taking the Zone Championship banner in 2023? We'll find out in November.
We want the banner! 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 We want the banner!
I think everyone wants the banner. Wish TV has you covered both on air and online when it comes to high school football games this fall. Be sure to check out wishtv.com/sports for all the Central Indiana scores each Friday. Plus, see complete highlights, post-game reaction, interviews, and more. And we will be live on Facebook from our Zone tailgates while also having updates all night long on Twitter. And hey, that's not all. Be sure to follow along on Instagram at @ACWeWantTheBanner. It's going to be a fun fall. That's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you so much for watching the Zone Football Kickoff Show. Appreciate you tuning in. Be sure to tune in again on Friday night at 11:08 for the season premiere of The Zone. Have a great night and a great football season.